If your child is having sensory issues, it's a good idea to learn as much as you can about sensory processing disorder so you can help them as best as you can. The more you know as a parent, the better you can have a conversation with an occupational therapist and advocate for your child. You're about to learn my top 5 books on sensory processing disorder. My name is Christina, and I'm an early intervention occupational therapist with Bright and Early OT. I help parents find and address delays early on in their child's lives so they can live their brightest future. I wonder if you can find these books at your local library or if you can share with friends. My first pick is Your Out of Sync Child Has Fun by Carol Stock Kranowitz. It has specific activities to help your child live a sensory-rich life. I also talk about creating a sensory-rich life for your kid in my video about sensory diets. What I like about this book is that there's a lot of adaptations for making activities harder and easier, and there's a lot of using household items that a lot of people have laying around. I especially like that there's a chart in the very back of the book organizing the sensations by like age, or if it's appropriate to be outdoor, indoor, or what sensory system you're targeting, or if they're good for groups. The chart is a really useful tool. My second pick is Sensational Kids by Lucy Jane Miller. She's another big name in the occupational therapy sensory processing world, and this book has a foreword by Carol Stock Kranowitz. This book is more for people that are looking for more of the background, kind of like cerebral up here information about sensory processing. They're for the people that want to get into the weeds about the different subtypes and research behind sensory processing, because she is a researcher. It's super info-packed. It talks about how sensory processing compares to other things like ADD, autism, anxiety, etc. And I like how she has detailed case studies on what all the subtypes of sensory processing can look like and how different people experience different everyday situations. Lucy Jane Miller also wrote this book, which is called No Longer a Secret. She wrote this book along with, I'm sorry for this, but Doré S. Bieler. I like this book because to me it gets to the point a little faster than Sensational Kids. It also has case studies, and A Secret is an acronym for a framework of working for kids with sensory issues. It kind of puts a lot of tools in your toolbox and helps you think about these kids in like a systematic way. So A stands for attention, S is for sensation, E is for emotional regulation, C is for context, R is for relationships, E is for environment, and T is for task. It gets you thinking along those lines, and I just really like it. In addition to this general framework, it also has specific activities that you can work on with your kid. It's a little thinner than the other two that I just talked about. It's overall a great book. So as I'm in the middle of talking, I'm wondering if you have any books that you would like to recommend. Let everyone know in the comments. My number 4 pick is Raising a Sensory Smart Child by Lindsay Biel and Nancy Peske. This book is awesome. I like that it's written by an occupational therapist and a parent of a child with sensory processing disorder, so it gives those two perspectives. And it has a foreword by Temple Grandin, who is an autistic person and an autism advocate. It would be a dense read to read from cover to cover. It's organized more as like a reference book or a handbook. It's organized in a way to help you find answers to specific questions. I like how it talks about specific activities of daily living that people with sensory processing disorder could have a hard time with and what we can do to address it. So for example, just dressing challenges, grooming challenges, eating challenges, language challenges. It breaks it all out for you. And it goes from babies all the way to teenagers, how to discipline them, how to go to an amusement park and vacations, stuff like that. It's truly comprehensive. I come back to this book all the time. It also has little case studies if you're interested in that too. This is a great book, highly recommend it. And the last book I have is Understanding Your Baby's Sensory Signals by Angie Voss. Also love this book. Also not one that you would really just sit there and read, but it's very thin. So she gets really straight to the point. I love the way it's organized. The table of contents is just a big list of questions. Then you look for the question, go to the page, find the answer. Every page basically has a one-page answer where it has the question, a possible sensory explanation, and then possible sensory ideas. I love it because it is kind of like questions you would type into Google, but this is a reliable source, a good occupational therapist. It's really important when your baby is young to really understand what he's trying to tell you with his movements and his body and behavior. So this one gives you really good insight into that. So there you have it. Those are 5 info-packed sensory books. As always, if you need help applying sensory ideas into your daily life or just problem solving your unique situation, you can snag your free consultation with me by emailing Christina@brightonearlyot.com or by calling 619-631-5398. Hit the like button if you're interested in learning about online resources like blogs and websites that can help you raise a sensory smart child.